I'm honestly surprised to see you here. I'm Meek and Nomicon, and you need to remember, this is not your house. Roger always knew if he were attacked, it would happen on the walk from his car to his home. So, he vetted his house key before stepping out of the vehicle, keeping it ready as he walked to the trunk of his car. He hangs his groceries from his wrists, keeping his fingers free to open the front door without fumbling. We're carrying everything in one trip, right? I mean, that is the only way to carry groceries. Also the safest way, if we're worried about getting attacked. We really don't want to take multiple trips to the car, do we? As Roger makes his way to the porch, his eyes start darting between the house's corners. He'd read about a young woman being ambushed in her driveway the week before. He tries to put it out of his mind by counting how many steps it takes him to reach the front door. But he can't stop listening for the sound of someone rushing toward him. There is a gentle breeze and the white noise of distant traffic. Roger assures himself he is right to remain vigilant. It only takes a split second for someone to get the drop on you. Steady with the key now. Smooth is fast. That is very sage advice. Let's face it, if we start rushing, we're going to start panicking, and then we'll fumble the key. Potentially we'll drop the key, and then it'll just take us like 10 times as long. You're just going to be slow about it. Roger's key slides in on the first try. It won't turn. Roger removes his key and inspects it. It's engraved with a large H, definitely the correct key. Roger tries the key again. Locked. Jammed. Broken, maybe? Roger takes a step away from the door and scans the area for suspicious persons. Wait, okay, so I know we've established that it is indeed the correct key. I mean, I had the giant H and everything. But, and I'm not calling Roger an idiot, are we 100% certain that this is the right house? I'm just saying it's easy enough to do. If all the houses look identical, you could pull up to the wrong one, and then you've got the mess of the key not working. All I'm saying is that I've been informed by a very reliable person that this is not your house. He sees no one. He releases his grasp on the key and leaves it in the lock. He drops his grocery bags on the porch. He tries furiously to turn, pull, and push on the key in the door handle, every which way, without success. Roger hears something inside. A shadow passes by the window. It looks like someone's silhouette through the curtain. Roger pounds on the door. Open up this instant! The police are en route! The door unlocks from the inside.
Can I help you?
Wait, so is this really not my house? I mean, we're calling her the homeowner. You can start by getting out of my house.
This house does not belong to you.
Check the deed, lady.
A deed is only a piece of paper.
Wait, so is this actually my house and you're just choosing to take it over? One that proves this house is my property.
Personal property is a social construct.
Everything in life is a social construct. Where everything is decided and built on social societies. You can't use that to just squat in my house.
Those who inhabit a space own it.
Oh, yeah, that's why all my belongings are inside the house. Because I own it and I reside there. You know what? No, I don't agree with your squatter's logic. You do not get to have my house just because you want it. I'm taking my house back. I have a rotisserie chicken cooling off out here. I'll be eating it in my dining room before it's room temperature. The homeowner attempts to shut the door on Roger. Excuse me, did I not just tell you I have a chicken? Listen, it is of great importance that this thing gets eaten. Respect the chicken, lady. Roger swiftly jams his foot between the door and its frame. He presses his face into the gap his foot provides. I don't think you heard me. Roger shoulders the door wide open. The homeowner stumbles back into the kitchen.
You forgot your chicken!
Oh, that's a great point. Oh man. I mean, I did just say that the chicken is the most important thing and you gotta respect the chicken. So I have gotta go back for the chicken. I just know the fact I'm gonna get locked outside the house as soon as I do this. You know what? No, we respect the chicken. It must be eaten. Roger turns around to collect his groceries. He sees someone, analogous to the homeowner, devouring his rotisserie chicken. Excuse the hell out of you! My chicken! The homeowner behind Roger grabs a paring knife. The homeowner clamps a hand over Roger's mouth and shoves the blade into his back. Oh, damn! Honestly, I just expected to get shoved out the building, not actually just stabbed in the spine. Apparently multiple times. Oh, there's my blood. Oh, that's not looking good. How many times are you gonna stab me? Jesus Christ, all I wanted was some chicken. I don't think I'm gonna survive this. Roger tries to bite the homeowner and break free. Her hand remains firmly clamped over his mouth. He can taste the tang on her blood, with an unexpected acidity. The homeowner gently lowers Roger to the floor. Roger tries to get up, but grows weaker as blood pumps through his heart and out his back. The homeowner keeps him pinned to the floor and presses down to strain his breathing. Roger grows tired and slips away into a calm and reassuring dark. The homeowner's analog grabs the grocery bags and carries them inside. It sets the bags on the floor and steals a glance at Roger.
We have plenty to eat tonight.
Are you talking about the groceries or Roger?
There may even be enough to store in the freezer. We'll need to dress the quart of it first to see what there is. Now close the door. I won't tolerate a draft.
The homeowner's analog grabs the door and throws it shut. The goings-on of the house, safeguarded from the eyes of prying neighbors by a door and some drapes. Well, I wasn't expecting the analog double. God damn. Was the chicken at least tasty? Did you enjoy eating it? I mean, I was looking forward to it. It must be done. We must abandon the chicken to stand our ground. I'll get it when you're gone.
Be sure not to leave too often, Roger. I have a habit of roosting in untended spaces.
Roger hears a car start up right outside. Wait, is that my car? So first you steal my house, then you eat my chicken, and now you're stealing my car? That is just shameful behavior. He looks out the window to see what's going on. The homeowner waves from the driver's seat of his car and disappears down the road. Wait, did you not grab your analog double? Well, I guess they'll just have to walk. It can't be. Roger whirls around. The homeowner is no longer in the kitchen. He proceeds to clear the house, room by room, until he is sure she's gone. Roger spent the next few days gathering up every trace of the homeowner's presence and passed it on to the authorities. Doilies, table runners, oil drape runners, candles. It seemed like she'd lived there for years, leaving things in odd places only someone familiar with the space would. It took Roger an additional half a day just to rearrange the furniture. Thankfully, she hadn't moved in her own. Then, there was nothing left for Roger to do, except his grocery shopping. Wait, so how long had she actually been in our house for? Does she have that much stuff? I mean, I assumed it was only during the grocery trip, so what, half an hour? Damn, she moves fast. He decided to have his groceries delivered by a boy from the neighborhood for a while. He didn't want to leave the house alone. He started to feel silly about it after a few weeks passed. Wait, so do we not even, leave the house for work? I feel like I've become a hermit. Police couldn't locate his missing car. He bought a junker so he could handle his errands around town. Roger didn't notice the walk from his car to his house anymore. The only thing that worried him is whether or not he could turn his key when he got home. A shadow passes by the window. Wait, so is she back again already? I mean, why did that key not work originally then? Has she really changed the lock in that short amount of time? I mean, I'm assuming that's what must have happened. Okay, we still do have 8 endings to find, so we're going to have to let her have the house. You know what, fine, you have the house, I have the chicken. That seems like a very disproportionate agreement. Keep the house. I'll take my car and head down to the station.
Which car is that?
The one I pulled up in.
I didn't notice.
The only one sitting in the driveway.
But, sir, that's my car.
What? Wait, no, you've already got the house. You're stealing my car as well? Oh, screw you, lady. Well, I suppose there are 2 of them. Oh, well. Do we at least get to keep the chicken? What in the hell? Roger turns just in time to see the car he calls his own, reversing into the street. He sees the homeowner wave to him from the driver's seat and disappear down the road.
Here, let me help you with that.
Wait, is she going for my chicken? Roger tries to run after his car, but the homeowner grabs hold of his shirt. She slips it off with one deft sweep. Now you're stealing my actual shirt? Jesus Christ, lady, what is... Well, we all know what's wrong with her. Why are you stripping me? Listen, is my house, my car, and potentially my chicken not enough for you? You need the literal shirt off my back? Roger spins around, trying to grab hold of his button down. He feels goosebumps forming in his arms as his nipples harden. Give me my shirt back!
No need for these either.
The homeowner grabs the hem of Roger's pants and yanks backward, knocking Roger flat on his back. The homeowner quickly slides off his pants and the remaining articles of his person. Roger lies dazed with his head pounding from the collision with the porch. Roger wraps his arms around his head and groans. The homeowner glides into the house, slamming the door behind her. Holy crap! Well, this hasn't ended very well for us. I'm literally naked, standing in the middle of a street. Oh, goddamn. Roger pulls himself to his feet. He cups his genitals in his hands and tries to keep warm. He shakes from the cold. Well, I'm not entirely sure what we should do here. I mean, it seems regardless of what we do, it's going to end badly for us. Like, even if we seek out help, we're going to look insane. We're currently streaking down the street. If we approach anyone, it's not going to end well for us, right? I mean, we're going to get arrested for public indecency. Then again, if I try and break down the door, I feel like the same thing is going to happen, right? I will be the one that gets arrested. Waiting her out isn't going to do much. I mean, we all know she's not human. I suppose I could seek shelter elsewhere. I need to seek out clothes, that's what I need to do. You know what? I don't think it's going to end well for us, but let's try and find some help. Driven by the belief he cannot resolve the house theft on his own, Roger runs off to find help. Running down the road, he spots a police cruiser on patrol. Roger begins wildly flailing his arms and calling out for the vehicle to stop. The cruiser comes to a halt and an officer steps out from the passenger side. Roger sprints towards him shouting, attempting to explain his situation. I feel like that was like the worst thing we could possibly do while we're stalkers. I mean, I don't think I'd be very comfortable with just like a random naked person running at me for a tilt. The officer enters a defensive stance and draws his weapon on Roger. Roger freezes in place, thrusting his hands into the air. Don't move! Hands! Let me see those hands! They're up! I'm cooperating! Suspect is uncooperative! I'm cooperating! What am I a suspect of? Turn around! I said turn around right now! Roger complies. Walk backwards towards me! Roger walks backwards towards the officer. Not so fast! Roger stops, in a lethal game of red light, green light. Did I say stop? Roger does not speak, and he does not move. He does not want to alarm the officer. Come on, hurry up! Roger very slowly walks backward toward the officer. I said slowly, not slow motion. Pick up the pace. Jesus Christ, you really need to decide on what you want me to do. I'm trying to comply and you are changing your mind so easily. Roger does not hasten his pace, preferring to aggravate the officer rather than do something that could be seen as threatening.
That's it!
The sound of the officer's thudding footsteps draws near to Roger. Roger hears cuffs being readied behind him. He feels the cold metal press against his wrists. The officer thrusts Roger against the hood of his car. Roger can feel the cuffs tightening further, cutting off circulation. Please, officer, I'm cooperating. The officer yanks Roger off the hood, steering him with the chain of his cuffs. The metal digs into Roger's wrists as he fails to anticipate the officer's movements. The officer pushes Roger into the back seat and slams the door. The officer quickly climbs into the front seat and jumps on the radio with dispatch regarding Roger's arrest. Roger's naked body wriggles for several minutes against the leather in the back seat while he attempts to sit up. The officer brings his fist down on the car's dash.
Keep it down back there!
A few tears stream down Roger's face in the dark. The tears make him feel ashamed, but he cannot suppress how angry and helpless he feels. Please, someone has broken into my house. Look, we're passing by it right now. Just pull over.
The old "someone stole my house" routine. Save it for the judge, junkie.
Wait, so do you often get people claiming that someone stole their house? So I'm guessing these anomalous beings, there's either a lot of them, or this one moves around a lot. I'm not a junkie. I'm a senior citizen and I need help.
You don't see many elderly junkies, huh?
What are you talking about? The officers sit in total silence as they cruise towards the station. Roger sits back and tries not to exasperate the situation further.
So, you're telling us that you went out shopping and returned home to find your locks were changed?
That's right. Then I started pounding on the door, and some strange woman answered.
Strange? How?
What do you mean? She stole my house!
Right. But what is that made her strange to you?
How calm she was about it all. Like I was a perfect stranger. Like she belonged there. The officers glance at one another.
So you found your locks changed and a strangely calm and comfortable woman at the door?
Yes, but she was in my car as well.
So she left your house?
No, she was in the house, and I turned around and saw her driving away in my car at the same time.
A pair of twins, maybe?
No, it was her. Roger, that is the situation when you say yes, regardless if you don't believe it. I mean, people are gonna believe twins a lot more than they're gonna believe an anomalous duplicate. She was in the car and the house all at once.
So what happened to your clothes?
She took them, right there on the porch. When I turned to see the car taken off, she slipped my shirt off.
Without you even asking?
The officers snigger while sharing a look. It's not funny. I was assaulted.
Sir, if a woman came up to me with a smile and asked for my clothes, I wouldn't report her. She
knocked me down and ripped off my pants.
All right, sir. How much have you had to drink this evening?
Not a drop.
So you're telling me you tried to get into someone else's house in a confused state, thought you saw two of the same person, and wandered the streets naked?
That is pretty much what the story sounds like, and I did accuse him of ending up at the wrong house the first time as well. Oops. But you can't argue that it was indeed my car. At least, unless I stole it to begin with. But I did arrive in that car.
But you haven't had anything to drink?
That's not what I said. That isn't how it happened.
You've already given your statement. All I need to know is how much you were drinking.
I don't think I was drinking at all. I'm going to insist that I was sober. I was not drinking. It's true what I said, every word of it.
But a note that the subject is not cooperating. and we haven't been able to positively identify him.
Let me guess. My ID was in my trousers. My name is Roger Cormack. I've already told you that.
Sir, you'll be transferred to a new facility in the morning. You can explain the situation to them.
What kind of facility?
The kind that has the resources necessary to help someone like you.
Oh dear God. Roger spent the remaining of his life being shuttled between state mental institutions. None were able to properly identify what ailed him. Without a diagnosis and treatment plan in place, they were unable to release him. Oh God, I should have claimed to be a drunk. He raved about the woman who stole his house and his car. The staff learned to tune out his ravings, as they did with all the other patients. Content is consider his rumblings those of a madman. And specific nonsense that you can hear pressing your ear to any patient's cell door. I'm thinking drinking is our best option then, right? I mean, maybe I won't get put into a hospital if I just said I was drunk this entire situation. I mean, I might get put into jail, because I did still streak around naked. Okay, I do confess. I was indeed drunk. Roger hangs his head in his hands. You're right, officer. I've had a few too many tonight. I don't know what I'm saying.
It's alright, old-timer. Just be glad it's not dementia.
I'm very grateful.
Well, you can spend the night in the drunk tank, and we'll release you in the morning.
Thank you, officers. Roger spent the last few hours of the evening resting on his cell bench. It was rigid and uncomfortable, but Roger had learned to deal with discomfort in the service. So, that actually probably was one of the best endings we could have got. True to his word, the officer released Roger first thing in the morning. Roger received a pair of sweatpants from the Lost and Found to replace his jumpsuit. He had no phone or wallet, and no idea what direction his house was in. He'd never been downtown, and didn't know how to find his way out. He focused on finding shelter and food. He spent each day meeting his fundamental needs. Most passerbys refused to look at him. The rest were too frightened by his appearance to speak with him. Everyone kept a safe distance from him. He faded into the crowds and entirely out of memory. Oh, okay, I take it back. That's probably not one of the good endings. Oh. I mean, I didn't get arrested, apparently I just became homeless. Let's face it though, even if we'd found our house, we still wouldn't have been able to get inside. I mean, the lady's probably still there. I am curious though, if we try and break down the door, are we gonna get arrested still? Roger is a strong man, but not strong enough to break a door down with his bare feet. So instead, he takes a swing at the door's window. He feels something warm and slippery pour down his arm as he fumbles with the deadbolt. He manages to get a grip on the lock and slides it open. Roger opens the door and shuffles inside. He hears heavy footsteps from the floor above. The steps indicate the homeowner is headed for the stairs. Crap! Had she found the shotgun? Roger only had a moment to act. Do you know what? Is there anything to arm ourselves with? I say arm ourselves. Roger darts to the knife block in the kitchen. A mere 15 feet away, he yanks out the butcher's knife and wheels around, heading for the stairs. A yellow flash and flecks of cinder. Yeah, she found the shotgun. Roger lies dead, practically eviscerated by his own shotgun. The homeowner calls the police to report the incident. What is left of the body is labeled John Doe. It is cremated by the town according to protocol. The local paper released a story about the incident, labeling Roger as an unidentified drifter and the homeowner as a neighborhood hero. Some locals caught the story and recognized Roger from the area. A correction was printed, but it portrayed Roger as an unstable addict to account for his state of undress and violent behavior. I mean, surely my neighbors must remember who lived next door to them, right? That it wasn't this lady. Local officers used Roger as a cautionary tale at school assemblies to display the dangers associated with drug abuse. The homeowner was heralded throughout the state as the example of a homeowner who defended themselves when police were nowhere in sight. She was paid handsomely to act as a keynote speaker for a variety of clubs and events over the next few years. God damn! She really benefited off my death, huh? You know what? I'm almost impressed by how well she thought this through. Okay, arming ourselves really did not pay off. We did not even get a chance to use our knife. So let's hide in ambush instead. Roger wasn't sure he could make it to the kitchen and back before the homeowner reached him. He pressed himself against the corner wall by the bottom of the staircase, hoping he will remain out of sight. The homeowner's heavy footfall makes it easy to follow her movements. Roger sees the barrel of his shotgun slide through the entryway. He grabs hold of it and rushes around the corner. The homeowner falls back on the stairs. Roger yanks the gun away from her with his good hand. The homeowner stares at Roger and tries to sit up. Roger brings the butt of the shotgun down on her face. He presses down, grinding and twisting it into her. Her smile peeks out at him from around the gun's stock. She reaches for the trigger. Roger pulls the gun away and brings it down on her face. He does it again, and again, and again, relentlessly fragmenting and distorting her features into a puddle. He was satisfied when he could no longer see her eyes. The police arrived shortly after. Why do I get a bad feeling this is still not going to end well for me? Like, I don't feel like this is going to be seen as a case of self-defense. Did I at least have time to go put clothes on? I mean, I don't imagine us standing naked over a brutalized corpse is going to be a good look for us. A neighbor called 20 minutes earlier due to the sound of breaking glass, followed by repeated muffled blows. As Roger and his defense team could not adequately explain the circumstances, leading to him viciously beating an unarmed woman to death in his home. A woman police were never able to identify due to the excessive facial and dental trauma, missing fingerprints, and a lack of documentation. The jury found Roger Cormac guilty of first-degree homicide. The prosecution was able to convince them Roger had kidnapped the woman and killed her when she attempted to escape his home. Oh, damn. I mean, I suppose I can see how it would look like that to some people, especially with the missing fingerprints as well. Oh, that's not a good look for us. Roger now inhabits a cell on death row, awaiting lethal injection. Okay, but let's face it, with how slow that process can be, I'll probably die of old age before I even get a death sentence. Why do I get a feeling if we try and wait it out, we're gonna just like succumb to the elements or something? I mean, waiting out is going to require us just to sit outside naked in the cold. I suppose at least it's not raining yet. Roger was not one to bully others, or be bullied himself. He stood resolutely on his porch, like any respectable citizen would. He spent the first few hours hollering and pounding on his own front door. As it grew late and cold, Roger began to lose feeling in extremities. His pounding became limp and inconsistent, and his hollers turned to hoarse whispers. He became warm and a bit drowsy. Oh, that's not good. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's when the hypothermia becomes dangerous, right? When you start actually feeling warm again. Roger reasoned it was best to get some rest and resume his valiant opposition in the morning. Morning did not come for Roger. He sat on the porch, curled up, and nestled his head against the front door. It was the comfiest and the sleepiest Roger had ever been. The homeowner discovered Roger at dawn and called the police. Cause of death was determined to be hypothermia. He was tagged as a John Doe and placed in a morgue to await cremation. Roger's final moments were warm, and he was not afraid. I suppose he at least had a peaceful death that time, right? Did he at least remember to eat his chicken? I mean, it should still be on the porch, right? Okay, last options for the endings. We must go seek shelter to avoid the hypothermia. With no immediate means of retaking his house, Roger thinks it best to find somewhere to rest. He takes off into the woods in search of shelter from the elements. Roger finds a grove just before dark. At its center stands an immense hollow tree. Roger crawls inside and huddles against its bark for warmth. It protects him from the biting wind outside. As he settles into a comfortable position, his breathing slows and he drifts off to sleep. He wakes the next morning to terrible hunger pangs. He crawls out of the tree and onto the dewy forest floor. He scrounges around, looking for food. He happens upon a large grove of mushrooms. Oh, that could be bad for us. I don't know how to identify mushrooms. What? Okay, so we have a 50-50% chance of them either helping or hurting us. Do we take the risk? You know what? I feel like I'm dead regardless in this game, so we might as well just eat the mushrooms. Roger consumes the mushrooms with a desperate ferocity. They have a bitter taste, but Roger's hunger allows him to chew through it. As his belly fills with the mushrooms, he starts to feel ill. His head begins to spin. His manner of thought shifts and becomes fluid. Roger sees the world around him as a part of him, or he as a part of it. A very small part. A moat. The homeowner was right. In part, personal property is a construct, but habitation is not means of ownership. He did not own the immense tree anymore after sleeping in it than he did before knowing of it. The moat merely landed on the tree. In the morning, it came upon some mushrooms and began thinking of the world before itself. It surrendered itself to the soil, to the cool, damp, to the network, forsaking hunger, forsaking words. Words like Roger and returning home. Well, I went on such a trip in that ending. I definitely probably just died on the forest floor, right? Okay, I've learnt my lesson. We don't eat the mushrooms. Roger wasn't sure if the mushrooms were poisonous or not. He didn't want to risk dying for a single breakfast. He let them be. But the fact remained. He was hungry. He sets out for the edge of the forest at a brisk pace. He skulks through the tree line, parallel to the road, to hide his nakedness. As the forest thins, he ducks into alleys and hides behind garbage cans. He smells something on the breeze. It makes him salivate and clench his fist with an aggravated longing. Bright red. Something catches Roger's eye. A fire station. They might be able to help. I don't want the food though. You know what? We're going for the food. Roger's hunger takes hold of him. It demands satisfaction. So, he follows the scent in the air and finds his way to the nearby Ultra store. The welcomer at the door barely notices him, distracted by a handheld gaming device. Roger wanders the vacant halls of the store until he finds men's clothing. He grabs a simple outfit, a pair of socks and some sneakers. Wait. But, I mean, we grab more than socks and sneakers, right? We have a pants and top. I'm assuming that we grab all of it. Then head straight for the ready-made meals on the south checkout. Piping hot pizzas for breakfast. Roger grabs one of the boxes and takes a seat on the floor in front of the display. He uses the box as a plate and chows down on the warm treat. A bit sleepy, but satisfied, Roger takes a moment to think. With some warm clothes and a full stomach, the answer strikes him almost immediately. Roger shuffles out of the store. leaving discarded pizza boxes and tags in his wake. He uses his pin to access the ATM just outside the store and heads right back in. He pays for the clothes and pizza while checking out some additional supplies.
Aww.
Well, see, we're a decent person. We go back and pay for things. Wait, feed me a cat. Roger had never committed a criminal act. He was distressed to discover how easy it was. At his own house, in broad daylight. No one paid any attention as he hooked a hose up to the gas tank outside of the house. Am I gonna blow up the house? No one batted an eye when he broke the kitchen window or ran the gas tank's hose through it. Not even when he threw the lit Zippo inside. The neighborhood only took notice when they heard the result. The fire department was first to arrive on the scene. Roger was impressed by their response time. Thankfully, their investigative abilities left much to be desired. They declared the fire to be a natural accident caused by a gas leak. Roger was able to claim the full amount of his insurance policy and use the money to buy a home closer to his grandchildren. There's our happy ending, and all it took was a little bit of arson. Well, we found our good ending, so I can't imagine that going to the fire station is going to end well for us. Let's go anyway. Reason compels Roger to stop at the fire station and seek assistance. He knocks on the front door. The man who answers seems unfazed by Roger's lack of dress. Sir, is it possible the station has some clothing you can lend me? Or some food to spare? Got plenty of both. Come on in. Roger is given a baggy t-shirt with the monogram of the defunct company on it, accompanied by some ill-fitting pants. He relaxes knowing he will not be charged with indecent exposure. Terry is in charge of lunch for the station today. He's got a pot of chili going. Might not be appetizing first thing in the morning, but it's what we got. I would appreciate some, thank you. The fireman nods and hurries back with a bowl of chili and a cold beer. Roger isn't normally one for beer, but it is dark and filling. So, if you don't mind me asking, what's got you out of the street with your pecker hanging out? I went out for groceries yesterday. While I was out, someone broke into my house and changed the locks. I couldn't get back in and had to spend the night in the woods. But why was your pecker out? Like, you like shopping naked? No, the woman had an accomplice who broke into my car while I was trying to get into the house. I tried to stop her from taking the car, but the woman in the house jumped me from behind when I did. I took a bad blow to the head. She stripped me on the porch and her pal took off my car. The fireman scratches his beard. Why didn't you go to the police? It was freezing out and getting dark fast. I didn't know how to find the station, and she took my phone, so I just holed up for the night. Glad you made it. Awfully cold last night. Kind of makes it our slow season. I'm just glad I stumbled onto this place. The brick facade helps it stand out. You got any kind of documentation to prove you own that house? Of course. I have the deed in a safety deposit box, but I need my ID to get it. And that witch took my pants, with my wallet still in them. You think she was still in the house? Or took off in the car with her pal? She had no intention of leaving, I can tell you that. That settles it then. I'll get the blues out on the horn and get that sorted out for you. The fireman lumbers over to the phone on the far wall. A wave of relief washes over Roger, knowing his civil servant is assisting him. Still, the fireman's reaction to Roger's story troubles him. He doesn't want the fireman thinking of him as a crazy old man. Worse still, Roger worries he is a crazy old man and just doesn't know it yet. A part of him hopes the woman is still in this house, to prove to himself that what he thinks happened really happened. When police arrive at Roger's residence, they find the homeowner barricaded inside the upstairs bedroom, raving that the house is hers. She's been there all her life. It's her childhood home. She demands the police get a warrant to search the premises, but she isn't able to prove personal ID or proof of residence. Bearing no legal claim to the property, she cannot refuse the entry. They are unable to locate Roger's wallet, believing the homeowner had destroyed it. Roger's social security card and birth certificate are recovered from the premises, which he uses to acquire the deed from his secured deposit box. With the proper paperwork secured and presented to the authorities, Roger is permitted entry to his home. The homeowner is taken into police custody. You know, maybe I was wrong. This also seems to be a good ending for us. Roger spent the next several years checking in on the homeowner as she was transferred between a variety of state mental institutions. He eventually lost track of her in the system. He nearly forgot about her altogether until his car was recovered. It was unearthed at a site in Nevada where BlackRock was breaking ground on the construction of a new housing complex. Roger put the car out of his mind. He didn't allow himself to worry about the homeowner. I suppose that's the point. I mean, the homeowner may be in the mental institution building, but the anomalous double is still out there, right? He kept his shotgun at his bedside and slept easy. Well, at least there's a couple endings when we actually get our house back. I don't think there's any ending though when we actually get to eat our chicken. I am outraged by this. That was my chicken. It looked, I can't even say it looked tasty, I never saw it. Well, I hope you enjoyed your time here. If you did, please remember to like this video and subscribe to this channel. And now you speak day, and I'll catch you next time, guys.